Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Padix Island, the area that everyone has been waiting for. The new grinding spot that was added right next to pirates, in a way to, let's say, make people interested in sailing again, give us a reason to pick up our boats and go all the way to the pirate island right next to it, to Padix, pick a partner and start grinding together. I would say this is a really good attempt at providing us with some more party content, a reason to stop grinding solo, while it's a nice attempt, but they could do a lot better. I'm pretty sure by now most people know and expect that Padix is not really that amazing, since I'm a little bit late to the party again. I feel like most people who were interested in pirates already visited pirates and know it's not that great, and people who didn't go there yet probably don't have the gear for it to try it out for themselves. In my case, I spent here a total of 14 hours, which I would say gives me a good enough time frame to put a money per hour number on this place and say if it's good or not. I also tested experience for once, even though this is kind of the spot breaking series. Maybe I'm going to name this video a spot review, since I'm pretty sure I'm going to tell you everything you will need to know about Padix Island. That being said, this is my gear. You can see it on the screen if you're interested in that type of information. I would say I qualify as having the minimum required AP of 269 Kutum plus. I am playing Awakening, so about 281 with a Tri Black Star in my case. I play a Guardian, which arguably is, let's say, one of the better classes for areas where you actually need big AoEs. And for my partner, since we need to be 2 people to grind here, I chose whoever was available to me. For a long time I had a hard time to find someone to grind here. For my partners, I had mostly 269 AP plus people, with only one exception, which was a witch, a succession witch, which is kind of my main partner, let's say. She had 264. I believe I had a succession sork with around 280 AP as a partner for 2 of the hours. The witch, which I just mentioned, for I believe either 4 or 6 hours, definitely the longest partner. A succession ranger, which was a guildie, which was 272 with a dead black star on succession, and a ninja, which he said he was 270 AP with a kutum. So if I missed anyone, you will see them on the screenshots, but that's as far as I remember all of the partners I had. In terms of the way I grinded, gear out of the way, all of that, I guess I can show you the rotations now. So to get to Padix Island, you already know, you pick a boat and you go to the place on the map, and once you get there, in my opinion, either you take your boat inside the cave. There is a small entrance. When you autopath, you just click to the NPC outside of it, but to get inside you can go through the cave and leave your boat there. That's kind of the main area where we are going to start, or you can press escape and be teleported literally to that exact same spot. The reason why I say this is the main area is because you press escape and get teleported here. This is kind of how I left the area every single time. When I was done with my grinding, I would just simply press escape, be teleported here, and from this place just swim outside and leave. I find this to be the most convenient way. I will show on screen a path if you want to follow it, if you are not aware of the cave layout, precisely how I went from that escape area to the main rotation, which let me just say it right now, I don't know if this place has an official main rotation or whatever. I'm just going to present to you 3 rotations now. The first one is, I would say it's the main rotation in my opinion, and then you have 2 other viable rotations. So by now, hopefully my character reached the first rotation, the main one, which is the one with the fence in the middle. And let me just say right now, on every single rotation, the way you grind is similar to the abandoned monastery. You try to pull 2 different packs of monsters together to make a bigger pack, with basically you and your partner try to aggro every single monster that you can. I believe it caps at 10 per people, and then you kill that one pack and move on. For every rotation there are 3 of these big packs of monsters, so you pull monsters in one pack, move to the second one, to the third one, and then you get back to the beginning of the rotation. That's how all 3 rotations work. I didn't notice any improvement or loss in clearing speed from any of the rooms I tried, including this first one. So for the fence room, there is a really easy area, or a safe area where you can stay, where around the water place. That's where I put my tent and where I go AFK. From there, the way I would describe it is you have the side of the fence that is towards you, basically around the area with the water where you go AFK, and then the side of the fence that is obviously on the other side. You start from the water area where you go AFK, you start with a pack on the right side, basically that's your first big pull. From there you go to the left side and you pull all of the monsters that are left on that small room, you know, before the fence, and then from that point you and your partner divide. One of you goes from the left side, jumps the fence, and the other one goes through the gate, and on the other side of the fence you have another one big pack, which arguably in my opinion is the biggest pack in this room, the third one. After you clear all of these, obviously you get back through the gate into the other side of the fence and you repeat the process over and over. This pretty much works in the exact same way for all of the other rooms. The second room I tried and grinded is, I would say it's the second best one, or maybe even the best one, because on the previous one you actually need to do some form of pulling, especially after you go past the fence with that bigger pull where you and your partner separate. On this second room I managed to get about the same trash per hour, if not a little bit higher, and this one doesn't require that type of pulling. This second room, which you can see right now in the background, I'm pretty sure I will show a clip where I was grinding this one with a ranger or a witch. It's a smaller room, it also has 3 big packs, but it's kind of a circle, as you can see, around one big rock with the jar in the middle, and it has less travel time. That's how I would describe it. It has less travel time, which means that overall, even though it seems like it may have less monsters, it still ends up giving me the exact same trash per hour values. For the third room, I'm not going to re-explain everything. Again, it has 3 big pools, you can see it on the background now. This is basically the third room I grinded, and once again I didn't notice any improvement or loss in clearing speed, in trash per hour. All of the rotations kind of seem to range with a normal loot scroll between 4000 and 4,400 trash, depending on if you are a bit casual, depending on your partner, if you optimize, you know what I mean. It's between 4000 and 4,400. Most of the time you should be able to get 4,200 trash per hour with a normal loot scroll on any room. Outside of these 3 rooms, I tried 2 other ones, 2 other random rooms, to a total of 5, and I never really noticed any difference in trash per hour. That being said, I want to point out, if you didn't see from the clips earlier, I am literally overclearing the rotations, especially on the fence one and on the second rotation. You can clearly tell at times that monsters barely have time to respawn. So because of that, I feel like this entire place, Padix Island, kind of caps out at 4,500 trash per hour. Even if you have a crazy amount of AP, I don't think you can get more than 4.5, maybe possibly 4,600 trash per hour, just because monsters will never respawn in time for you to clear any faster. And I didn't see any 2 rooms to be close enough together to be able to grind 2 rooms at once. It might be possible, I'm not entirely certain, but I think that would be the only way to reach that 5,000 plus trash per hour that you can get at Star's End, Sikraya, Monastery, and all of the other high-end places. So it could be possible, but you would need to somehow find 2 rooms to grind at the same time, or the developers need to change this place, add more monsters, or increase the respawn rates, which are already pretty fast. Really long explanation on rotations, I know, but I want people to know how to do them and to understand them. That being said, the next point I want to bring up is the mechanic, or how the area works in general. You may have noticed on all of the rotations there is a jar in the middle of the room, which usually stays blue and it turns purple whenever the monsters go enraged. This area has a form of event similar to the one that happens at Kratuga, where you're going to see a yellow message in the middle of the screen, and whenever that happens, from that message's appearance, you have 20 seconds to go to the jar, to use one of the mutant flowers and calm down the monsters. As soon as that yellow message pops, you should know yourself and tell your partner, whenever that message pops, one of you has to go to the jar and use a flower, otherwise you risk dying. From the moment the yellow message appears, you have 20 seconds until the monsters go into enraged mode, and just to give you some reference, you can see in the background I did get a chance at some point to catch only one monster alone on the AFK area, which was enraged, and you can tell easily that he's chunking my HP with just simply one hit. He's taking like 20 or 25% of my HP, so you can imagine if monsters go enraged in one pack, I can easily get one shot in less than 1 second if 5 monsters hit me at the same time, and if you saw the pulling earlier, it's gonna be at least 20 monsters that hit you probably all at once. So the main mechanic is simple. You get these neutralizers, items that you can buy from the main Pirate Island place where you find the NPCs. You can buy these neutralizers for 3 million silver each, and ideally you want to have around 6 of them per hour per person. To grind here in the most optimal way, you kind of have to tell your partner, we can use these neutralizers, I use one, you use one, then I use one and you use one. You have to alternate between the two partners just to split the cost of that. The event with the jar, the monsters going enraged and all of that, kind of happens at random. Sometimes it can happen every minute, other times every 20 minutes. I've seen it happen even a couple of seconds after I started my session, and I did have 2 hours where I started grinding and the event didn't happen at all for 19 minutes. So it's really random. I would say it's somewhere between 1 minute and 20 minutes. Usually on average for me the event happened about every 5 minutes or between 5 and 10 minutes. That's kind of the time frame. When the monsters are enraged, they are going to pretty much ignore your super armor and frontal blocks, on top of having all of that damage. So even if you have 400 DP or full pen armor, I'm pretty sure this area is not grindable unless you use those flowers or neutralizers. Outside of the event, with the normal monsters, the area is pretty safe to grind because monsters have no CC at all. You can spam any AoE that you want, even if it's unprotected, because you are literally never going to get CC'd. Monsters don't have that. So I would say it's pretty safe. Just try to avoid grinding on nighttime, because I did die once during nighttime. I was casual, I was reading the chat, and I didn't realize that monsters actually can kill me. I died a total of 2 times on the entire 14-hour test. The first one happened because I didn't react in time to the event. So, I didn't know it was in the very first hour, and basically the enraged monsters killed me. And the second time happened 12 hours later. So it's really hard to die if you keep track of the event. The second time happened just because I didn't expect the monsters to be able to one-shot me like that on night time. I thought I was safe because of what I just mentioned earlier. So as long as you use the flowers, you are safe to grind. I would recommend as a DP maybe 320 plus. I think that's kind of the entry level. Around 320 DP should be fine for this place. Other than that, let me just quickly cover the flower as well, how to make it and the costs, and then we can talk about experience and money per hour. So you can either buy the flower, the neutralizer, for 3 million silver each if you don't want to spend the time to make them. To make them, it's a little bit harder because you need 3 materials. One of them is the concentrated herbal juice, which is kind of sold out on the marketplace and you have to make it yourself. And to make it yourself, you have to process it, which takes a while. I personally did this only once. I made 67 flowers in total myself, just because my partner took way too long to arrive, so I had time to kill. I would say if you don't have a life skill character and you don't have something to do for like half an hour while your partner arrives, then you can process for the herbal juice. If you have something better to do, then you're probably going to make more money from that life skill than you would save by making the neutralizer yourself. To make it, I would just say do what I did, buy the special silver azalea flowers, the blue ones, and process those. Then you get the concentrated herbal juice, and then you can buy the other two materials from the marketplace, the fire horn and the trace of despair. In total, I checked the proc rates of all of these. You can see right here in my Excel file. I made the herbal juice myself. I took the flowers that drop from the items as being basically for free, since you will get these as drops, you know, while grinding. And counting the prices of the other two items, the fire horn and the trace from the marketplace, basically you're coming down to around 1.1 million silver invested per each flower made. So if you want to process them yourself and make the neutralizers on your own, it's about 1.1 million silver per each of them, or 3 million silver if you want to buy them. Other than that, yeah, let's talk about the money per hour, since I'm already at the Excel file. In terms of a breakdown, this is my trash per hour breakdown right here with, you know, trash per hour. As I said earlier, in the first 3 hours I had really bad trash because I was still adjusting to the place, and on the first 3 hours I was still not pulling the monsters like I showed earlier. I was just simply killing the packs one by one basically. After the first 3 hours, starting with hour number 4, I'm pretty much staying around 4000 with the fourth, but usually it's 4.3 or 4.2 or very close to 4.2 thousand trash. My average came down to literally 4000 trash per hour, let's say 4.1, mainly brought down because of the first 3 hours. I would say these days my real clearing speed is about 4.2 thousand trash per hour. These are the pictures with literally everything that I got from my 14 hours. The first one before selling the trash items to the NPC, and the second one after I sold the trash items. These two coins over here are from the old pirate monsters. There are a couple of them sprinkled in between rotations. I ignored these for the loot table, so just keep that in mind. The trash itself is actually pretty good. I would say it compares really well with the other places. I might be wrong when I say this. I think it's 15,000 per trash, I'm not sure, but you get 61 million silver per hour just from trash alone, again with a normal loot scroll and a Kamasil blessing. So I would say it's not bad, it's not amazing. I'm pretty sure Sikraya is a bit better, but it's still pretty good. My overall money per hour, as you can see, it's 127 million silver per hour, which seems really bad, but then again, I forgot to point out earlier, I only got 3 earring drops in 14 hours, which I would say is below average. I got 3 black spirit claws, which again I probably should have gotten more, and for the dust drop rates, since once again we have a double dust drop rate event at the moment, I divided the number by 2 to simulate what I should get outside of the dust drop rate event. In terms of blackstones, you only get armor blackstones, so that's really good if you really need these to enhance or to fail stack. And besides those, blackstones were about 43 average per hour. Besides those, I got 2 pure forest breath drops just because. Petals are meh, not even 1 per hour on average. The flowers I valued at 0 because basically they are 120,000 silver to sell to the NPC, so kind of useless to sell them. If you really want to consider these into anything, you're most likely going to use the flowers to make the neutralizers yourself, so that's why they have no value. I dropped 1 blue coral earring, a pry blue coral earring, so that was, I guess, okay, and the normal blue coral earrings that drop here are on average about 1 per hour, just a bit higher than that. I got 15 in 14 hours. So 127 million silver is what I made, but from what I understand, the earring should actually be about 1 in 2 to 3 hours. So if I did 14 hours, it means, let's say I should get 7 of them, you know, basically exactly one earring in 2 hours. If I do that and my Excel file decides to connect, there we go. I should expect about 170 million silver per hour, which seems to be really good, but it's definitely not the 200 million plus that I hear some people expecting from this place. Even if you drop one earring in 2 hours, it's still about 170. And on top of this, remember that you need to use the neutralizers to grind, so just count out about 15 to 20 million silver just from the materials required to grind, which means this place is kind of at best 150 million silver per hour area. That's kind of my take on it. I don't see it being worth anymore just because of the earring being kind of cheap on the EU at 180 million silver at the moment. So if the earring goes up to, let's say, 250 million silver, then this place could be actually really good. But as it is now, I believe that the place really lacks one thing. If any developer is watching this video, here's how you can make this place be really good. Add Khafra stones, either Khafra stones or black magic crystals. This place drops only dust, it doesn't drop any Khafras, so I feel like that would be the easiest fix in the game. Put Khafra stones on pirates and it becomes a really good grinding spot. Other than that, I hope I didn't forget anything. If I did, I will just put it somewhere on the video if there's space, so now I can tell you the experience rates for this place. I would say if you're looking for experience, this place is basically just a little bit better than the abandoned monastery. These are the charts from my previous big experience project. I just simply tested pirates and added it on top of it, and looking at the comparison, Padix Island experience wise is, let's just say, a little bit better than Abandoned Monastery, better than Pilakujel Sulfur Mines, but it's even lower experience than Manchoms, definitely lower experience than Histria, Akman, Kratuga, Star's End, and all of these other high-end spots. So if you're looking for experience, this isn't the place to use all of your experience scrolls. In terms of skill points, I don't even know where this place ranks, but I'm pretty sure it was pretty low. If you can find somewhere here Padix, I found it. Padix Island, skill points wise, it's really bad, I would say. So if you want experience or skill points, I would not recommend this place, at least for level 62. I don't know how it works for level 61 or under, but I'm pretty sure for level 62, 63, 64, you shouldn't come here for experience. Money per hour could be a lot better, as I just simply said, but it works. I mean, it's not a garbage spot. I'm not as disappointed as I was with Hexa Sanctuary, but it could definitely be better, you know. If I had to choose, I would rather not go to the inconvenience of picking my boat, going to pirates, picking a partner, waiting for a partner, starting to grind, picking the flowers, using the neutralizers, making sure I don't die if I don't use them, all of that just to get less money per hour than soloing Star's End, soloing, you know, Histria and the other places, or Sikraya. So I'm kind of better off going to those. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm pretty sure it was really long because I feel like I explained a lot more than I normally do. I'm pretty sure this video is 20 plus minutes, maybe even 30 minutes, who knows. But still, if you like this, a like would be massively appreciated. It always makes my day a lot better seeing those, you know, the dopamine and all of that. If you didn't dislike the video, I guess that works as well. I will see you in the next one. Have a good rest of your day. And yeah, goodbye. I remembered something. See, there is something I forgot to point out. There are some coins that drop from this place, from the snakes in particular, the event snakes that pop around the jar. I'm going to say my luck with snakes was probably pretty bad. I averaged about 50 of those coins per hour, which I would say it's a bit below average, just like my earring drops. And I did have a couple of hours where I spawned no snakes at all for an entire hour, and other hours where I saw maybe 3 or 4 spawns. So it's random. But what I wanted to point out is that these are trade items. If you have all of the nodes connected, let's say maybe they are worth about 2 times the price, maybe 200,000 silver, and if you put that, then the income goes up a little bit. In my case, I just simply valued them at their base price because I don't want to get into all of the trading stuff with the nodes and the trading level and everything required. So that's kind of all I wanted to say. So goodbye.